Hey guys, I wanted to show you some great websites that you can look at when you're looking for free 3D models to use in your visualizations. So the number one website, of course, is the SketchUp Warehouse, and you need a free SketchUp account in order to download models from the warehouse, but it is free. You don't have to be subscribed to SketchUp in order to use the warehouse. And the only thing I'll say is that if you don't have SketchUp, you will have to download files in an older format so that they're compatible with Rhino. So we can just use the search bar to search for anything. I'm going to look for some lighting that I really like, and I'll go over into the models. And I can see already we have the Escofet twig and some really nice lighting. So you can just take a look around. I really like the Escofet full street lamp series, and I will just go down here, and if you want to open it in Rhino and bypass SketchUp completely, you can download the 2018 model file. I believe 2018 is the most recent version of SketchUp files that are compatible within Rhino at this moment. So just download the 2018 file and you can open it up directly into Rhino. If you're downloading for SketchUp and you have the most recent version, of course you can download that. If you want to bring these elements directly into Lumion, you can download the Collada file. You don't even need the 3D model file. However, I would say that if you download this as a Collada file, all of the elements that are shown in the model will be downloaded at the same time, and you won't be able to separate them out. They just come in as one single entity. So it's probably better, especially when you have a series of things, like for example, these garbage bins, that you download them as the 3D file first, and then separately export them as Collada files for Lumion later. The next one I wanted to show you is called BIM Object, and this is also a free website. You can have a free account to log in, and it has so many components, but lots of them are for buildings and interiors, but they do have, if you look into the categories, you can see the different types of things that they have, and you can just look through here and see if you can find anything that's helpful to you. I have found a lot of outdoor furniture here, and so let's see where that is. It must be in landscaping. So they have landscaping outdoor furniture right here, playground equipment, and some trees. So let's just check off those and see what comes up. So you can see there's like a bunch of PNG files here. Then there are lots of different beautiful types of furniture, really expensive, gorgeous furniture that no client will ever buy in real life, but that's going to make your visual look super awesome. So the Parco, I have used Parco in like lots and lots of renders, the circular benches. So just take a look. This is a great place to find really detailed materialized components for your landscape design and visualization. And if you go into one of these elements, let's just go into this bench. It usually comes in a whole bunch of different formats. So you see this number here, download 10. You can look and see all the different formats it comes in. Now, usually it doesn't come as a Rhino file, so you will want to download the SketchUp or the DWG. So the DWG drawing, you want to just make sure you don't grab the 2D drawing, but that you're grabbing the 3D one. So that you should be able to open up right into Rhino. And then also if that doesn't work, then the OBJ file usually works. That's an object file. But if you do download SketchUp, just be aware that it might come in as a version that's not compatible with Rhino. So unless you have SketchUp and are able to convert it and downsave it, then you might not be able to use the file. You might have to look for a different format. Another website that I use is CG Trader. Now this is actually really good for like city models. Lots of people have built different models of different cities. I have paid for city models, particularly for big client jobs where it's really important to have detailed topography and context, but they also have a free version. So if you look in the 3D models, I just went to exterior. And then I checked off this free tab here, and now you can see all of the free models that they have. There's over 300 pages just in exterior models. Now, a lot of these are going to be kind of like buildings and houses and things like that, but you can filter it down into different components and different types. So you can also look at different formats. So I think they do have 3DM right here, Rhino 3DM. They have DWG, they have SketchUp. They basically have every format you can imagine, so you can filter it down like that as well. Flying Architecture is a classic site for free models and materials. So if you go into their store and just check off only free, you'll see a whole bunch of different things. So they do a lot of interior renderings as well. So you'll see like lots of furniture and kind of interior style things, but they do have some masked trees that can be useful to you. They also have outdoor furniture. They have paving materials and different texture maps. So it's always worth just looking around and seeing what's in their library. They're kind of adding new stuff all the time. And you can even find some of their post-production files if you're interested in learning from someone else's workflow on how to do really cool renderings. Look, you can download their PSD file for free and go in and look at the layers and see how they've organized their rendering. So that's a really worthwhile resource. Landscape Forms is a pretty big supplier of outdoor furniture, and if you go into their products and look for anything, maybe we're looking for a sunshade today, you can pretty much find whatever you need, and you'll probably be able to get the 3D model of it if you want it. So I'm gonna go into this really cool stingray looking thing. And just see if they have any download files. So it looks like they have details here and tools. Sometimes on manufacturer websites, you have to log in and then go to like a professionals area. But this one looks like they have a SketchUp file right here if you want to use it, as well as a CAD file. So these are always really useful to just go into these areas and see what you can find. Another manufacturer that I refer to a lot is Vester, and so I'm just going to go into their products, and I really love this block series. They have so many cool variations on this, and the great thing about this website is you can choose the model that you're looking at, and they show you all of the different components here. So I'm going to go with the block seat like this. And then you can choose the type of metal. So like if you just go with the powder coated, if you go with the galvanized steel, it's going to just be like the steel color. If you go with powder coated, you can choose a color and it will actually apply it for you, and you can bring it into your model just like that. You can also choose the wood, which is really, really cool. So if I change my wood type to something like oiled ash, it's going to update the model for me, and then I can basically download it just as it is. So if I go to download 3D, you have a whole bunch of options here. And again, if you're working in Rhino and you don't know which version of SketchUp they're going to give you, you might want to just download the DWG file. But you can try the SketchUp and see if it works. Sometimes they downsave files. Let's just see if we can open this up in our Rhino file. I'm just going to go to import to my downloads where the Vester block bench is and see if it is able to be imported. So it says it successfully read it, so I'm just going to zoom over there, and here we have it right into our file. I'm going to just group it because I think everything comes up as ungrouped. But in order to move it around, it's like origin 0 point is way over here. So that's kind of annoying, but you can still use it and move it around based on its endpoints here. Just be aware that it has like a weird point associated with it that's going to show up somewhere off into the distance. So if I wanted to pop that into my view, I'll just use on surface and select a surface over here. And let's say I'm going to use a different part of my model to orient myself. Yeah, so here it is. And let's see what happens if I go into my rendered view. So it kept the wood texture. It did not keep the color of the steel. So it just came in as galvanized steel. So either I didn't download the right option or it actually doesn't apply that color. But you can see that the texture mapping is really, really good. It's super accurate. And this is really awesome. So when you want some like great furniture in your projects and you don't want to model it from scratch, definitely check out some manufacturer websites. They almost always have really high quality downloads that you can use. There's a couple really awesome playground websites where you can find play equipment. This one is called Duncan Grove. I think they're from the UK. I'm just gonna jump down to their play equipment because like every time we want to have a really cool log jumble or natural play elements, we're like, yeah, I'd love to have that, but how do I draw it? Easy, just download it from their website. So I'm gonna just take a look and see what I can find. I think I want a climbing frame, and lo and behold, they have a whole bunch of different cool elements that I could use. So I'm gonna grab this one and then see if I can find the download files. So we have lots and lots and lots of pictures. Technical drawings available on request. So if I click here, it's probably going to ask me to get in touch with a local office. But if you're doing a job or you really, really want the 3D files for this because you just absolutely need them, I would consider just getting in touch and telling them, like, I'm a student, I'd like to put this in my project. Could I have the 3D files? They'll probably say yes. This also can work, like, for example, this as a PNG file, you could cut that out and drop it in as a PNG into your Rhino model. And instead of having a 3D file, you'll have it as a PNG, just like those other sort of grass and people billboards that you create. So that's another option. And I think it's the same with this one. If you look at their furniture, let's look at their Roomba series because it's kind of cool. Let's say you like really want this nice bench in your project. You might not be able to get the 3D files, but you can probably get a pretty decent PNG file. So I'll open it up in a new tab and see how that looks. Look, you can even move it around to the exact sort of orientation that you want. It's not perfect because they only have a certain number of views, but like if you were looking for this bench in a particular orientation, you could potentially just grab an orientation, and another option is always taking a screenshot. If it's a high enough resolution image and your screen is big enough, if you take a screenshot, you should be able to create your own PNG file from this screenshot. So there's always a way to be able to put something inside your view if you really want it. And I know that it does take time to do all these searches for everything and then organize files. I just wanted to show you my file organization for 3D models. So I always have it in my resources, and then I have reference models, and I have a bunch of files organized here. So I have buildings and facades, food, because sometimes you need some food to make things look realistic, furniture, landscape elements, so it's more like gravel or rocks or like natural elements, lighting, and then Ottawa is its own category because apparently I did a project just for Ottawa, and then urban elements. So you'll start your own file organization strategy, but as soon as you download your model, take it out of your downloads and move it into your furniture file. And that way you're always going to have it there and you'll know exactly what you have and what's inside.